Hey guys, this should be a rather quick test flight compared to a lot of my other test flight videos for 1.39. This is on the first Bearcat, the one with the machine guns. It now has a battle rank of 5.7. So apparently, according to the developers, this plane is supposed to be on par but not better than the 109 G10. I have my doubts about that. Why do I have my doubts about that? Because one of the 109's strongest traits, one of the only things it can do that no other plane can, is a spiral climb. Um, and this is a Bearcat F1. I'm losing a little too much speed, so I'm going to have to level it off a little. But you'll notice I did not stall, haven't lost control. I'm actually spiral climbing pretty easily. And in fact, I have about the same climb rate as a 109 will, a 109 G2. One of the best spiral climbers of all the 109s. Even the 109 K4 will struggle to do this sort of a climb with the 109 G2, which is why I personally think the 109 G2 is actually one of the best 109s in the game. And you'll notice how slow I'm getting. Oh, I lost aileron authority, but I still haven't stalled. This plane will stall. Oh, there we go. There we go. I lost elevator authority there for a second. So this plane, but the thing is, a 109. That's how a 109 responds as well. That's one of the reasons the 109 is so good at this. When a 109 loses control in the spiral climb, it just sort of levels out and it pancakes a bit. It doesn't just fall out of the sky like most planes do. Which means this plane, at the very least, will match the best 109s in an energy fight, is what this really means. So this plane, this Bearcat, it's not just an acceptable zoom fighter. It might not be able to zoom as well as the TA 152, but it will outrun the TA 152. So, just because it doesn't, and it will, trust me, it will run with 152s in level flight, especially at low altitude now. Not so much at high altitude though. The 152 is an extremely good high altitude aircraft, but if you and your 109 are used to looping every aircraft you come across and always being able to out energy fight everything, the Bearcat's going to come at a very nasty surprise. While it doesn't have the same climb rate it did in the last patch, it can energy fight even better than it used to now, to the point where it can match at the least any 109 in the game at energy fighting, which is terrifying. Because that's the 109's last good advantage over late tier props. Which basically means, I'm not going to say this thing's going to club 109s, but it takes their last advantage away. And one of the funnest things about what's happened to the Bearcat in this patch is its roll rate is a bit closer to historically accurate. It's not the best roller at low speeds, but it rolls very well at medium to high speeds. So while the 109s are locking up and barely able to maneuver, this plane can still maneuver just fine. In fact, its only limit as high-speed maneuverability is the new G-lock that all aircraft are limited by. An example being, there's a 9G pull, and almost immediately the G-lock just smashes down and limits me to about 6. And every once in a while I can get about a 6G pull, but other than that, I just get like a 5.5 G pull. And that's the upper limit on pretty much every prop plane in the game. The difference is the Bearcat, unlike pretty much any other prop plane, other than the Mustang, I'm pretty sure the Bearcat is the only other plane that gets a G-suit. Which means you saw how I was able to do that snap 9G pull in the beginning of the turn. A G-suit allows you to do that 9G pull for longer than you could without it. Which means the Bearcat has a pretty significant advantage over any other prop in the beginning of a high-speed turn. And then it balances out about equal with the other prop planes after that, as everything in the game ends up being limited to about 6 Gs. Which is, it's not bad. It's not really good either. The good thing is, because this plane's power to rate ratio is so insane, it can hold a 6G turn for a lot longer than any other plane can, meaning any other plane is going to end up losing a huge amount of speed. Well, this plane just basically does this. It just keeps turning. Which means it can't match a 0 in a short-term turn fight, but in a long-term turn fight, especially if the Bearcat starts to do a little bit of a climb and turn it into an energy fight, this plane can energy fight with zeros probably. Not turn fight, definitely not turn fight, but I'm pretty sure this plane will be able to energy fight the best of the zeros. And it will definitely be able to energy fight the N1Ks, if it can't just outturn them, nor if it can't just straight up outturn them. Which is it's really good for the Bearcat. It's really bad for everything else. At least this early version of the Bearcat isn't the fastest low-altitude prop plane, though. I mean, at least there are a handful of planes in the game that can outrun it. But there's pretty much nothing it can outclimb, and even if it can't outclimb it, it'll probably outturn most of them. So it's become yeah. I hesitate to say overpowered because I haven't fought them yet, but I doubt many people are gonna have problems using this plane, especially at medium speeds. But even at low speeds, it does pretty well for itself. It really does. So that's what I think about this plane so far. Basically, if you're using it and you're somehow having problems fighting other prop planes with it, you're probably turn fighting too much and you're not energy fighting enough. So just try doing more vertical maneuvers, and try fighting in climbs more, because it does climb better than pretty much anything else. So use that to your advantage as much as you can. Coming in for a nice little landing just to see if can I do it? Do I believe? Oh, I'm too slow. Oh, I'm way too slow. Oh god. Oh, bye everyone. I'll miss you.